With the chaos of our world, it seems that peace is almost something that we can't find. That we don't have any peace with everything that we're hearing about, with restaurants now closed, with not being able to go out and be with people. It's so hard. And I think that chaos causes the lack of peace, which leads to our fear. So what do we do about it? How do we handle it? Because it's so hard when we can't be with the people who are going to encourage us. We wonder what's going to happen. It's interesting in Psalm 122, it begins by saying, I rejoiced with those who said to me, let us go to the house of the Lord. See, these Psalms were written as pilgrims made their trek to Jerusalem. Many lived miles and miles, perhaps even in a different country away from Jerusalem. So they wanted to get there so that they could worship together with the people of God. And this is what this psalm was saying. It says, our feet are standing in your gates, Jerusalem. This may have been the song that they sang right when they made it into the city. They were anticipating worshiping together. But we can't do that, can we? Because we can't even physically worship together on Sundays right now. How do we get the encouragement? We can't even meet with groups of 10 people or more. It's so hard to find the encouragement and community we need right now. We all feel alone. And that's a problem, because it's when we're alone that really we can be under attack by the enemy. Our fears can really just grow and take root. We can't find the peace we need on our own. It's interesting in the psalm, as they come together to worship, but then it says at the end, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be secure. May there be peace within your walls. And again, in verse 8, it says, I will say peace be within you. The word peace in Hebrew is the word shalom. And the word shalom doesn't just mean peace in the sense of there's no war, there's no conflict, but it's also peace in the sense that there's a positive thing, a good thing. There's something beautiful and bountiful about the good things that God is bringing. That's what shalom is. It's much more than the absence of conflict. It's something good. It's something that we should be seeking out, as it says, I will seek your prosperity. What is interesting that this psalm is teaching us is that we can't find shalom alone. We have to do it together, to seek it together, to pray for it together, to worship together, to find something in our heart, to leave us, take us out of the fear that we have and the chaos we have into a peace internally and the shalom that we can have together. You can't find shalom alone. Back in the Vietnam War, there was an Air Force man by the name of Howard Rutledge. And Howard Rutledge, his plane was shot down in North Vietnam, and he was put into a prison camp. And there he was with a lot of other POWs. They called the prison camp Heartbreak. And it was there in the camp that he realized so many things about his life. You see, for years before he was a POW, he hadn't gone to worship. He hadn't gone to church. His wife would go, his family would go, and she would beg him to go, but he just didn't find the need for it. He was too busy. He wanted to go out and work or go play even, do anything he could, because he didn't want to waste an hour or two on Sundays. But as soon as he was in the prison camp, away from everything else, he realized how much he needed the church. He needed other people around him. In fact, he wrote, in Heartbreak, which was their POW camp, there was no pastor, no Sunday school teacher, no Bible, no hymn book, no community of believers to guide and sustain me. I had completely neglected the spiritual dimension of my life. It took me prison to show me how empty life was without God. You see, I think a lot of us are going to be feeling the same thing over the next few weeks, away from community, away from church. Maybe you have taken it for granted. But I think you're going to realize more now than ever before that you can't find shalom alone. So I want to encourage you, do whatever you can to seek out community right now, to pray for your community, as this psalm teaches us. That you should reach out after this and shoot a text to someone, give a call to someone you haven't seen for a while. Make sure that you make it your priority to worship together online with people. Because you can't find shalom alone. You're never going to move on your journey from fear to faith, from chaos to peace, unless you have other people to encourage you, love you, and show you the things of God.